I'm fed up with this Churchill centenary. With all them stamps, what is the plaques and cups and knives and forks, with his Churchill face on them. Churchill with his brandy and his cigars, and his painting and his rotten painting. Hitler, there was a painter for you. Could paint an entire apartment, 2 coats, 1 afternoon. Churchill. Hitler told funnier jokes than Churchill. He had more hair than Churchill. And he could dance the pants of old Churchill. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Winston.
Winston who?
Ah, you have forgotten about him already, you see. Kindly observe, ladies and gentlemen, that the handkerchief, there is nothing in it, yeah? Now look. My head is in the handkerchief. My head has gone.
You became, in fact, of course, first of all, before you became an actor, you became a musician, didn't you? You were a drummer of some note.
Oh, you remember that?
Yes, I remember that. What, in fact, made you give up music? I mean, why did you decide to jack that in and go finally onto stage?
Well, it's a very dreary business being a drummer or any musician doing gigs, really, around the country.
Right.
Because you get a lot of hooray harrys who come up to you and ask you for songs, to play songs for them. I mean, a typical musician's story, and this is probably true, it's probably based on fact, is about a fellow who came up to a very well-known friend of ours, Alan Clare, pianist.
Marvelous pianist, yeah.
And said, I say, would you play That's What You Are? So Alan said, I'm sorry, I don't know what That's What You Are. I'll have a look through the book. So he had a look through the book very quickly. And this chap was sort of dancing around the very tall girl, you know, something like that. And he came back and he said, I say, there's a drinky poo in it for you, you know? and he came back and he said, piano player. And kettle drummer. I was known as a kettle drummer. I don't know why. You never used to play a kettle, but it comes from timpani, you see. He said, aren't you going to play That's What You Are? So Alan said, I'd love to play That's What You Are, but I don't know how it goes. He said, good God. He said, what is the country coming to? He said, I thought I'd reached the day when somebody didn't know That's What You Are. He said, well, if you sing it, I'll try. He said, it goes like this. Unforgettable. Yes. You can't win, you see, when you get.
That's a great musician story. It's a marvelous, yeah. Tell me, you learnt music from your father, didn't you? A lot of stuff you learnt in the early days.
Yes, Dad was convinced always I was going to be a road sweeper, you see. He always told me, very encouraging with Dad, you see. Okay. So you turn out to be a bloody road sweeper, will you? I'll tell you that.
Was he Yorkshireman?
Yeah.
Ah, lovely.
You're right, bloody Yorkshire. When Dad was...
What do you mean a right bloody Yorkshireman?
But I'll tell you why. When I first went up to Bingley in Yorkshire, where Dad's people came from, my granddad said he'd heard that my dad had been appearing at the Alhambra. Dad used to be the organist at Bradford Cathedral, you see. A young lad, you see. And to be in a stage business, you know, was all sort of sinful in a way, because they were farmers and whatnot, you know. And he said, I hear our Willie's appearing to Alhambra. Someone said, aye. He said, I'll have to burn down an Arcanon to him.
going to need subtitles for this one.
Yeah. And if we arrived on the 2 o'clock train, he'd write to make sure we got away on the 5, which is a good train going at 5. We were never made very welcome in those days.
Yeah, it's very welcome indeed. It's a nice homely place to be. Can you remember a song that Dad taught you from those days? In fact, I know you can, because in fact you used the song in a film you did called The Optimist, didn't you? That your dad had taught you.
Oh, yeah, right. Matter of fact, when Dad taught me to... let's get this old...
Burst on the old banjo.
Burst on the banjo.
Right.
When Dad... my dog has fleas. Oh, that's right. When he was teaching me to play the banjo, legend had it that he taught George Formby. I don't know whether he ever did, actually, but he used to boast about it. Anyway, he probably did, actually, because he was quite good on guitar and whatnot. He used to sing a little song. It's sort of very dated now, but it's quite, you know, sweet little thing, really. I've got an idea, soon she'll be cooking my breakfast, wait and see. I haven't told her, she hasn't told me, but we know it just the same. Saturday night on her city, oh what a time there's going to be. I haven't told her, hasn't told me, but we know it just the same. She still calls me mister, but she won't, I know she won't, after I've kissed her. I've got an idea, soon there'll be 1 little, 2 little, possibly 3. I haven't told her, hasn't told me, but I know it just the same.
When in fact, about that time, you were talking about a period when you were appearing on stage and also on radio. First of all, in those days you used to do impersonations, didn't you? That was what you based your act on.
Yeah.
What kind of impersonations did you do?
I used to do Peter Lorre from the Morty's Falcon, you remember?
And I used to Humphrey Bogart and Peter Lorre and Sidney Greenstreet. My God, sir, you are a card. You really are a card.
Stop twisting my arm, you're hurting my arm. You're hurting me.
So a selection of those. It's to Tommy Hanley. Well, isn't that nice? What is it?
It's me lodger's leavings.
Well, I'll go to the foot of our set. TTFN. What does that mean? It's Teta for now. No, it's the YTYTK. What's that? She said, you're too young to know. Would you like to hear an old actor story?
Oh, I'd love to hear an old actor story. I love old actor stories.
I'm a right sucker for old actors.
Me too. Right.
This is a story about an old boy who's on tour. He's well past it. And he's on tour up north with a show. And he decides to go into a pub for a drink that morning. And he goes into the pub and he says to the landlord, he said, "Good morning, landlord. My name is Warrington Minge. I am appearing in the new play at the Hippodrome, Tomorrow's New Yesterday. And I was wondering if you could oblige me. I'll have a large Remy Martin, please, by cashing this small check." He said, "I'm sorry, sir, I've been not seeing the notice." He said, "What notice are you referring to?" "No checks cashed for theatrical." "Ah, no," he said, "I didn't notice that. I must admit, no. Make that lemonade shandy. I'll have a lemonade shandy, I think, and I'll call back for the Remy Martin."